How you doing, folks? Just at the allotment, I had to come up and give my tomatoes a good watering because it was probably one of the hottest days in Scotland today. The 22, 23 degrees. One of the hottest days. Anyway, guys, as you can see, I've been pretty busy up here. I've harvested some tomatoes for salad tonight. My missus said just a wee handful, so I didn't take too many, and I've just pulled up some tatties and some onions and a leek. How you doing, Barbie? Good to see you. Good to see you, Barbie. I'm just harvesting. I'm just reaping what I've sown. But I wanted to talk about the past few months. I've been on this spiritual journey with my son. It probably happened at like the beginning of the year. My son suddenly just started going to church. Getting up in the morning, getting dressed, and heading to church. How you doing, Annie? Good to see you. Annie and Barbie. So my son just started going to church. Getting up early in the morning, going to church. And at first, he went to the Free Church of Scotland, which is a Protestant church. No, actually, the Church of Scotland. He went to the Church of Scotland. And he went in and he done his thing, he sung the hymns, whatever he does in the church, God knows. But he came out and he said, Dad, he says, the Church of Scotland's too liberal. I was like, what? He was like, they've got LGBT flags flying around and they've got all this stuff like that you see and liberal sort of things. I was like, oh well. He was like, I didn't fancy it, Dad. He says, the priest, the minister, was talking about God. And he said, what if God had a FIFA dream team? A FIFA dream team. My son was sort of standing there like, what the fuck? Anyway, my son decided he didn't want to go to this church anymore because he thought it was too liberal, too woke, too inclusive. Because my son's a traditionalist, he loves history. And the reason why he started going to church, my boy, is because I go to a lot of churches. How you doing, Watch Truth? Barbara, Watch Truth. Aye, so I go to a lot of churches myself. As you can see in my videos, I've been to hundreds of churches. And during one of those visits, my son actually had he must have had some kind of something he had for churches. Divine, divinity, God knows what it was. But my son, he believes in Jesus, fully committed. Anyway, right, so he started going to the Church of Scotland, didn't like it, and he started going to the Catholic Church. And fuck, he liked the Catholic Church, my son, because he seen it as more traditional. The Catholic Church wasn't as inclusive, but I was like, Church of Scotland is too liberal. The Catholic Church is more traditional. I'm like, aye, son, but the Catholic Church has got a bad rap in Scotland. And Scotland's a mainly Protestant country. Catholicism is on the rise again because there are a lot of Polish and immigrants coming in, but we are mainly a Protestant country, and we also signed the Covenant, which was made us even separate from the English Church, the Anglo Church. So the Church of Scotland's a big fucking deal in Scotland, Ken, and he didn't want to go because it was too inclusive. So he started becoming a Catholic. And I bought him like rosary, bought him a rosary cross for his Easter. My son, I bought him a rosary cross. He went to Barcelona, went to these big cathedrals in Barcelona. He wasn't happy with all the idol worship. That's something that bothered my son when he was in Barcelona, that they kiss all the statues and all the pictures, and my son's like, it says in the Bible, you don't worship idols. So my son was getting confused with this. And I'm like, son, that's what the Catholic religion's all about. It's all about worshipping idols and pictures and imagery and idolatry. Anyway, so he came back he didn't have that great experience with these Catholic churches in Spain. So he came back here and he started going to and I says to him, right, do you fancy going to the Free Church of Scotland? Right, guys? So there's a difference between the Church of Scotland, which was a liberal one that he walked into that was all LGBT, and then the Free Church of Scotland. The Free Church of Scotland. They're called the Wee Frees, they're nicknamed the Wee Frees. But man, he started going to the Wee Frees because he finds that the Wee Frees stick to the Bible, they stick to the Protestant roots, they stick to the Presbyterian roots. They don't worship crosses. They don't worship any idols. They stick purely to the Bible. They're like Bible nerds, the Free Church of Scotland. But they broke away from the Church of Scotland because the Church of Scotland they weren't sticking by their principles. They weren't sticking by the Presbyterian roots. And they were letting the establishment decide who was going to be ministers, and the Wee Frees, the Free Church of Scotland, said, no, we're not letting the establishment decide who's going to be our minister. We decide, the parish, the people. And that's the difference between the Presbyterian and the Protestant religion and the Catholics. That the Protestant and the Presbyterians, they have ministers and elders, and they're kind of elected by the parish. Whereas Catholic churches, and they've got their bishops, and they're all kind of, there's a big hierarchy of the bishops, and obviously the Pope's the head one. And I just told my son to look more into the Pope. I didn't want to put him off Christianity altogether. I thought it was a good thing. I thought it's good that he's going to church and he's doing all these things. And I just thought, son, you're too smart to go down this Catholic stuff. I mean, it's not in my... I'm like, Jed, we're Scottish, it's not in our DNA. But he's like, but Dad, we're Irish as well. So in a way, it is in our DNA. But anyway, cut a long story short, he's now a Free Church of Scotland parisher. He's fully committed. My son, he's been on this spiritual journey since the beginning of the year. I've been trying to support him. I've been buying him Bibles, buying him literature. I've been reading the literature with him so we can both go back and forth. Obviously, he's a smart boy, Barbie, like you said, and there is a few things in the Bible he's like, but there's a few things shoddy and other things. Anyway, so my son's a full-blown Christian. I said, Jed, do you believe that Jesus lived and died for our sins and resurrected? He's like, aye, Dad, aye. So I can't tell my son what to believe. I can only plant seeds and guide him in the right direction, but he's not a Catholic anymore. He's seen the light with that. He's seen that the Pope, there's nothing in the Bible that says there should be a Pope. There's nothing in the Bible that says that Paul should have some kind of ancestry, and that's what the popes think. They think they've got a line right down to like Paul, and Paul's Rock, and it's bullshit. And the Catholic religion also thinks that the church is the head of everything. Aye, it is a good thing, Barbie. It is a good thing. I was on that same sort of journey myself, but there was too many things that... I've got my own wee thing going on. I've got sort of like an ancient form of Christianity in my mind. Like when I started Christianity, before the Council of Nicaea, before the Romans decided they were going to make their own fucking religion and call it Roman Catholicism or Christianity, there was lots of Christian groups everywhere, and there was Christian groups in Ireland and Scotland, and there was Celtic Christians, and they didn't believe that Jesus died for our sins. They believed that Jesus lived a pure and perfect Christian life, but they didn't believe he died for our sins because they didn't believe we were born with sin. That's what I like about the Celtic Christians. They didn't believe we were born with sin. The Celtic Christians argued that everyone was born neutral, morally neutral, and you either gain salvation by doing good or you went to hell by doing bad. But everybody, the Celtic Christians argued that a baby can't be a sinner. So what the Celtic Christians believed in was more like the Old Testament. They're more like Judaism, the old Celtic Christianism. Celtic Christianity. In fact, the Jews probably the Jews probably got their religion back by looking at Christianity. Like, Judaism disappeared and they had to look back at the Old Testament to get their religion back. So I wouldn't be surprised if Christianity is actually older than Judaism. Like, there's so many fucked up things with religion. But like I said, in a world, and this is why I think my son's edging towards the church as well, because he just sees a world of degeneracy. Degenerate shite everywhere. Again, between the TV shows, the music, the culture, it's just degeneracy. And my son's looking for something wholesome. Even in his school. Even in his school, it's degenerate. And they're pushing all the rainbow flags and all the crap in the school, the teachers. My son's standing there confused, going, what's going on here? So I think my son sees traditionalism and he sees wholesomeness in the church, my son. Whether that will change in the future or not, I'm not sure, but my son sees some wholesomeness in the church. And do you know what? I'm not going to stop him. It's better than him being in gangs and drugs and whatever it is. He's a nerd, but I think he's... And one of the crazy thing is, guys, I think he's actually aiming to be a minister. Because he's so young and he's went to this new church, they're blown away with how much he knows already. And he's still under 16, so there's a special theology college up Edinburgh. It's near the castle, in fact, and it's some building, big massive Gothic style building, and it's a college of theology, and the Free Church of Scotland actually built it. It cost them 300 grand back in like 1850s, so it's like today's money it'd be like a £3-4 million building. It's beautiful. You probably see it if you stand on Princess Street, guys. If you come from Edinburgh, you stand on Princess Street and you look up at the castle and you see sort of like a row of buildings coming down for the castle. And you'll see a building with two spires, Gothic style. That's a theology college. So he's enrolling in this theology college, my son. And it costs a lot of money if you're above 18. And and I think you get some kind of degree at it as well. So, aye, my son, he is so smart and he's so good. He's such a good lad. You know what I mean? And that's where I've been, guys. I've been kind of spending a lot of time with my son, my family, and of course, up in my allotment. I'll give you a quick tour before I go, but like I said, I was up collecting some tomatoes. I was collecting some tatties and some leeks and some onions. It's just a few. That's really quite a lot in there. But these are Maris Pipers. Maris Piper tatties. These are the favourites in the house, so I thought we'd get the old Maris Pipers. Got a wee sort of basket full of them. These are some of my tomato plants that are growing outside here. This is see the deer? There's deer that come through this. There's a gap there, and there's a whole family of deer, including little baby deers, and they come right through, and they've been eating my peas, man. So these are my leek. Let me see here. That's quite a nice thick one down there. How you doing, man? KGV. That's what's his name? Anthony. Is it Anthony? What's your name again, mate? I can't. It begins with an A. Anyway, that's my leek. It's my rhubarb here. You see my rhubarb. Some onions here. This is my raspberry, and I've got a blueberry, a raspberry, and a rhubarb. I've had to cover it in net because, like I said, guys, London. I know, but what's your name? Is it Anthony? Anton, something like that. So here's my peas here. I've had to put deer net on it. Look, these peas were totally scranned. Like, you can see the tops of them. The deer have been eating my peas. My gazebo collapsed. Here, guys, here's my corn. Check my corn out. Got some corn here, guys. some corn. You see that's stalks there. Adrian. Adrian. That's it, Adrian. I want to call you by your name, no, just London. Alright, London. Oh, we've got a big strawberry here, guys. Oh my god, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. I think I'll pick that and take that home. I'll not even... Oh, is there something been eating it? There might have been something eating it. Anyway, I've got to take a bite of it and see what it's like. Oh, that's good, guys. That's good. Even if something has been eating it. They've no ate right through. So, that's my corn, my peas, my onions, my rhubarb. I've got strawberry plants in here, but as you've seen, I just ate a strawberry, but I need to de-weed them. This is my son's blueberry bush. He's got some blueberries growing on it. My son's blueberries bush. This is my cherry tree. A cherry tree here. My cherry tree. It's my tatties, which I've been pulling up. These are strawberry runners that I've tried to replant. I don't know if it's going to be successful or no, but strawberries have runners that grow off them and they create new strawberries. Well, I've cut these runners and I've tried to replant them. Got some onions, more onions, more onions. We've got the peppers. You can see, guys, these are peppers. So we've got the peppers here. We've got this is a habanero, but I've not got any chilies yet, but it's just started growing flower. Oh, there we go. We have got chilies. They're growing now. Scotch bonnet. That's a Hungarian hot wax, this one. That's actually starting to flower as well, the Hungarian hot wax. It's good when they flower, because when they flower you can there's going to be peppers. And this is a Scotch bonnet. You see, we've got different types of tomato here. We've got the cherry variety, and we've got the sort of bigger variety here, the big ones. See there? We've got the sort of cherries, and we've got the big tomatoes. They're not big, but they're sort of bigger. So the cherry ones there. We've got I think that's a cucumber over here. I think it's a cucumber. We've got a couple of cucumbers growing, I think. I think that's cucumber. So, hi guys, I'm quite happy growing my food. Like I said, I'm going to take some of this home. And some tatties. There's quite a few wee ones, but they're good for they're good wee salad tatties, the wee ones. And I've got a plum tree here, guys. A plum tree. You see the plums growing. Got a plum tree here. This is a plum tree. So it's quite an old plum tree. This plum tree is over 100 years old. So don't know what the fruit's like, but apparently this plum tree's been here for over 100 years. I've got an apple tree there. An apple tree right there. I'll try and zoom in some apples. See the apple there? An apple tree there. Got hazelnuts here, hazelnut trees over here. So not only have I got stuff growing in my actual allotment, I've got in my surrounding sort of area there's food. Like I said, there's hazelnuts, there's apples, there's plums, there's brambles and raspberries all the way around. These are all brambles, millions of brambles, more brambles. These are all brambles. And these ones have got the fruit on them. We've got raspberries as well. These are raspberries. So you can see the difference with the brambles and the raspberries. See, the raspberries aren't so jaggy. They've got just little sort of thorns on them. Where the brambles, you see here, look at the brambles. They're really thorny. You know what I mean? So raspberries, it's another raspberry you see there. I think that's a raspberry. Raspberries and brambles. There here. Anyway, guys, hope you're having a great day. I'll see you all in my next video.